Right, let's have a look at my autumn TBR, to be read. Let's dive in. First of all, The Chimes of a Lost Cathedral by Janet Fitch, the follow-up to The Revolution of Marina M, which I read in September. No, I didn't. I read in August. This one I've read once before, and I'm excited to read it again. I read Marina M because I was reading through Orlando Fige's A People's Tragedy, which is a history of the Russian Revolution, and I knew that these books were fantastic because I've read them before, and so I read The Revolution of Marina M in August, and I want to follow up with this in September. Cracking book, very well researched, very well written, engaging, and superbly narrated by Yelena Shmulinson on Audible. She's a Russian speaker, so anytime Russian place names and people's names come up, she does a marvellous job of making it sound authentic in place and time. So, next up, All the Kremlin's Men by Mikhail Zygar, which I bought in Oxfam in Brighton for £2.99 in the summer. After a history book, I think I want to read a more up-to-date Russian politics book, and I'm fascinated by the Putin period. Catherine Belton's book was an absolute gem. Putin, is it just called Putin? I can't remember what it's called. I'm just going to mute this. I should have had my notifications off. Sorry about that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's not a terribly thick book as politics books can be, so I'm looking forward to getting into that. I know nothing about it other than it's about Putin. So, okay, having read about the Russian Revolution last month, I'm going to pick this up. Bulgakov, The White Guard, Bielaya Gvardia, which I bought when I was at uni. I think it was first year, actually. St Andrews, 93 to 94. And I didn't read it. Somehow, I don't know how, I managed not to read this. And at that time, when I was 21, I wasn't terribly interested, to be honest. And so if I could get by with not reading any of the set texts, I guess that's what I did. It's about the Civil War in Ukraine and Russia after the revolution. Now I'm hungry for that. And it was quoted. There were, in fact, 2 or 3 quotations from this book in A People's Tragedy. And I looked them up. I looked at one of them anyway. And I thought, yeah, this is... Why would I not read this? That's crazy. It's been on my shelf all those years. It's time. It's time, Bulgakov. And I do like Bulgakov. I love Master Margarita. Why would I not read this? Exactly. So I'm going to... Next up, The Odyssey by Homer, translated by Emily Wilson, and also signed by Emily Wilson. I didn't meet her, I just bought it. I would have met her if I'd known that Waterstones in Glasgow, Silky Hall Street branch, they had a talk by Emily Wilson. And I didn't know, and I turned up there the next day, the day after the talk. I saw the posters, I was like, oh. Anyway, I bought this. This is going to be the second month of the Ted Gioia Humanities course. Ted Gioia set up a list of humanities and he's taken us through them. He's not taken us through them. He's just given us the list basically and said, run with it. He set it up as a 1-year course. I'm doing it as a 4-year course. So any weeks that he's set up for us, I'm turning into months. So I can take my time with this. This will be reading over 2 months, so September, October, and I'm looking forward to it. It's a delightful copy. It's got decal edges. I just love decal edges. So we'll be getting into that any day now. Looking forward to it. Next up, Fool's Errand. I've committed to reading one of the Realms of the Elderlings books a month. I just finished Ship of Destiny, the 3rd of the Live Ship Traders trilogy. And that's me getting into new territory now. I've never read this. I've never read anything beyond this. I'm very excited for it. a bit nervous about how I'm going to fit it all in, to be honest. But look, it's not 900 pages. I think all of the live ship ones were. It's not even 600 pages. Go on. I can maybe do it. Next up, Inanna, Emily H. Wilson. Look at this. It's a funny story I've told on the channel before. See how we've got two Emily Wilsons? One's got an H, one hasn't. I met Emily H. Wilson at Worldcon. I went to her book launch simply because I didn't know where else to go to, and I saw that there was a book launch and I thought she was Emily Wilson. And I'd just bought the Odyssey and I thought, oh, that would be awesome to meet somebody, I'm just about to read it. And I went and I met Emily H. Wilson and I said, wow, I've just bought your Odyssey, I'm going to read it. She's like, oh, that wasn't me. And I was like, sorry. And she said, yeah, I get it. I get that a lot. I mean, what's the chances, right? Somebody writing about ancient Greek and somebody writing about ancient Sumer, both with the same name. I mean, that's an obvious mistake to make, isn't it? So, to make up for it, I bought her book. I bought the follow-up as well, which is called Gilgamesh. That's 2 of a trilogy. The third one's not out. Joanne Harris said, I haven't read a historical novel this good for years. So, I was excited for it because I've read Snow Crash. And if you've read Snow Crash, you'll know that that talks a lot about Inanna and Enki, and well, I'm sure there'll be other stuff in here that relates to that. I've started it and I'm really enjoying it already. I'm at chapter 3. It's very readable. The audiobook, man, the audiobook is amazing. I'll just tell you who narrates it because I'm enjoying it immensely. And let's have a quick look. Title details. It's narrated by Zara Jane Nakvi. She does a great job. So I'm reading them in tandem. I want to read the audiobook. Listen to the audiobook. And I struggle with new books. Like, for example, Stormlight Archive. First time I listened to that. Game of Thrones. First time I listened to that. I get like halfway, or well, no, that's a bit long, isn't it? Less than halfway, but after a while I'm like, I haven't taken much of that in. So I don't know if you do this, but I find, especially at the beginning of an audiobook, it's good to read it at the same time, which of course means buying it twice. I'm alright with that. But I think I'll continue in tandem for at least another 2 chapters, and then I'll just switch to the audiobook and blast through it because I want to spend my eyeball reading time with Fool's Errand, otherwise I'm never going to get through it. And speaking of reading in tandem, I've been doing the same thing with this today, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I've read this before, 2009, audiobook only, narrated by Simon Preble, very good. I didn't have the book, so I was tickled when I saw this in Oxfam in Wadebridge in Cornwall for £4. And I believe it's a first edition. I mean, I'm no expert at reading these plates inside books, but it looks like, I don't know, you can't see it, so there's no point in flicking through it now. I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. This is part of a read-along I'm doing with Ross from Hardy's Books. He talks of it with great love. It's one of his favourite books. And he has multiple copies of it, which you can see in the bookshelf tour that he's just posted with Laura. Together they make up Hardy's Books, and they've just done an amazing bookshelf tour, which I enjoyed immensely. And if you're a book lover, you will too. Go and check it out. But he's running a book club over on Fable, which is an app that you can use for running book clubs. And he's going to be making content about it and helping us through it. So I read it today, sat out in the sun, looked through the book, had the audio playing in my ears, and it was a delightful experience. This one's illustrated, very good quality paper. Yeah, I'm excited for this. It's a 2-month read, so yeah, I'll put it down as an autumn read rather than a September read. What else do we have? Right, that's all the stuff I'm planning to read in over 1 or 2 months. There's other stuff that I'm planning to read over a longer period of time. This one, Anna Akhmatova, Selected Poems, and you'll see that it's dual language, which I'm really excited for. So I started looking through YouTube because I want to hear some native Russians reading the Russian poetry, so I can put stress marks in because I don't always know where they fall. And I do want to start reading these out loud. And so far I've only found one. I mean, it's only been a couple of days, but I'm hoping I can find all of them, failing which, I don't know, I might ask somebody, Russian speaker, if they can read it out for me, and I'll record it. And then eventually maybe I'll read them myself, because there does seem, just on those 2 days that I spent looking for stuff, to be a dearth of Akhmatova poetry on the internet in Russian. And I mean, the translations, that's the thing with poetry. I read the introduction to this and it was fascinating about how does one translate poetry. I'm not sure you do. Well, obviously you do, because Judith Hampshire has done. So, but you have to think of them, I think, as being not translations. You have to think of them as being poems in their own right, because, you know, I just don't know that you can translate poetry. It's an interesting discussion. It would be good maybe if I was to do the Russian readings and read the translations as well for YouTube. Is that something you'd be interested in? Let me know. But I do want to spend a lot of time with this. I want to get it into my soul, because what I learned from reading, I mean, I've studied Akhmatova before when I was at uni. As we've established, I wasn't quite ready for some of the literature that I read back then, but I did write an essay on Akhmatova in my second year. Did I enjoy her poetry? I don't remember, to be honest. I probably read the bare minimum. And I do remember writing the essay last minute, probably with an extension. But I'm ready for it now. I want to get into it. I want to read Akhmatova. I'd like to read Marina Tsvetaeva as well, and Alexander Blok and Mandelstam. Those Silver Age poets, or the Acmeists. I don't know why, I just feel a hunger for it. So, yeah, Akhmatova. And I've lost my gorgeous little book that I had. Little white hardback cover of Russian Akhmatova poems. I've been through the loft twice to try and find it. It's not there. It's not there. War and Peace. Reading this with Simon Heisel. A chapter a day and getting through it in a year. And we're now at almost page 1,000. And it's just such a fabulous book. This is the Anthony Briggs translation. And it's a very good one. Also has decal edges. So that's a work in progress. And this one, wait till you see this. Red Star Over Russia, which I bought when I was in the old house, so probably 2009. I think it was 2009 I bought this. It's a beautifully put together collection of images of Russian history from 1917 to the death of Stalin. So, I mean, it's right on my street, you know what I mean? I'm so excited. I'm just going through this a bit at a time, just taking it in. Sits on my desk and I enjoy it immensely. So, last but not least, Crime and Punishment, which I'm going through a chapter a week on my Substack, so I'm putting out written chapter analyses. That's a work in progress. Almost finished Lord Fowl's Bane, book 1 of Thomas Covenant, the Chronicles of Thomas Covenant, the Unbeliever. Doing a podcast with that with my friend Barge. And we've got, 2 chapters left to go. And we're finished, so we're getting through that. You can find that on your podcast apps. It's also on YouTube as well, just as a place to put it. in case I know people like to listen to podcasts on YouTube. I don't, but, you know, put it out there where anyone can find it that wants to. And that's my TBR for going into autumn, which is my favourite month. I'm looking forward to it. So, what are you going to be reading? Have you read any of these books? Would you like to? Let me know. Have a great month, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.